2TC is an achievement in Balloons Tower Defense 6. We need to complete a CHIMPS game using just 2 towers. Today we're going to do this with the Popseidon and the Apache Prime. I've got something to talk about when it comes to the Popseidon in Update 45. As of Update 45, the Arctic Knight and the Popseidon, both its default attack and its ability, has their weaknesses changed from purple balloons, which were very manageable to try and get around because you only really encounter them in the late game in 62, 78, and 95. 2 white balloons and purple balloons. Do you know how often a white balloon do you know how often you encounter one of those kind of balloons? Like every single round, there is a chance where you can do enough damage to a ceramic and it descales down to a zebra balloon, which is very, very bad as one of your 2 towers having the weakness of that because you encounter them so often, especially with the factor that this is a 56k upgrade, which cannot, for the life of it, pop white balloons. Next up though, we've got to try and get through this round, so just do a little bit of damage targeting changes from last to strong again, and then you'll be able to go through that round without a worry in the world. We do need to go to Echo Sense Precision so that we can have a chance of using our PSO to its maximum effects, because now the tridents are homing. So in essence, our second tower in a 2-tower CHIMPS scenario needs to be able to consistently be able to pop zebra balloons and white balloons in order for us to get through this scenario. And Apache Prime is very good for that, even though its explosives can't get through the black layer, but its rotors can, its lasers can. It's just going to be a fun time all round. When I say a fun time, I mean a very frustrating time if you don't have a consistent source of being able to pop white balloons. What is really interesting is that these yellow balloons can be very annoying at times, and I'm not saying that just because I have a clear hatred of yellow balloons throughout the channel, but it's just a fact on this particular round, it can be very annoying trying to get all of these yellow balloons partially damaged, which is kind of annoying here, but I think, let's see, close? No, that's not it. We need to do last actually on that manner. So let's try and do last here and see where we can go from there. Last? Not really the way forward here. No, that's not the way forward. Maybe just a change of the timing. Because we need to get through this round with just this Mermonkey. Let's see. Was it tad harder back in the day when this tower initially released? Let's see, last now? Yes, we got it. I don't know how you're able to pop through 4 layers at times. I'm really not too sure about that one there. You usually only do 2 damage, but I think it's something to do with the hand of the Mermonkey sometimes being able to do damage. Well, this is like a balloon that's really close by when it unleashes its trident attack, but we're still fairly new to the Mermonkey and what it can do and what it cannot do. But what we know it cannot do is a Mermonkey early run on CHIMPS, because of the fact that it cannot pop a lead balloon before it gets Arctic Knight. Speaking of lead balloons, let us now go up to Razor Rotors as soon as we possibly can, just so that we can actually get to round 28 and have this upgrade. Also very handy because this will obviously freeze towers at times, and the Razor Rotors will be handy when it comes to being able to get through that frozen status. Treating it like Pokemon, frozen status. And the damage type change from plasma to frigid has made it so that I honestly think that you could rank Popseidon as like a D ranking 2-tower CHIMPS tower at the very most. Like, it can obviously do a lot of damage against small class balloons. I was a bit worried there. It can do a lot of damage against small class balloons, but it can't damage with the inside if you don't do enough damage on the ceramic to where it can't bypass the zebra layer or the white layer, which is not that ideal because it reduces the ice balls that come out from the Popseidon's ability. Their pierce goes down to 0. It just cancels it out. It doesn't bounce off of it. It just goes down to 0, which would honestly be quite an ideal change if that was the case. So rather than damaging them, it just bounces off of them. Oh, IFR, that's kind of handy here. What's unique about the explosive damage type is that even though it cannot hit a black balloon, it's still able to damage nearby balloons if they don't have the black property on them. So if, let's say, you have a purple balloon nearby, but the initial impact was on a black balloon, it's still able to pop that purple balloon because the damage itself is not completely cancelled out. As of the time of this recording, there have been 44 unique OG 2-tower chimp combinations with Popseidon. Do you know how many nowadays it could actually still replicate? I think barely any of them. Apache Prime being one of the only ones in which can truly replicate. Ooh, should not have done that. Should have kept it on pursuit for round 40. But I think can barely do any of them nowadays. I've tried to do an Energizer earlier, but I couldn't get past either round 40 with Plutonium Reactor and Riptide Champion, because I couldn't afford Arctic Knight then, or try and switch up the upgrade so you get submersion support and then Arctic Knight so you can afford it for round 40, but then I can't get past round 41 because of all of the zebra balloons on that round. Really annoying. And there's also Cannon Ship Popseidon, and then followed from Mermonkey Pirates and Pirate Lord. Carrier Flagship Popseidon, only possible in Polyphemus. That map. Energizer Popseidon, mentioned earlier. Glaive Lord Popseidon. Camo White Balloons. I mean, if you don't get us up to past tier 2, we could possibly do them, definitely. But you're still left with a lot of options on the table which you cannot do. Like Icicle Impale and Popseidon, now no longer possible because of the fact that there's so many zebra balloons later on that you need to deal with. And you've only got upgrades which cannot pop anything with the white property or the zebra. So anything with the white property is zebra property. I suppose zebra is both white and black properties, for goodness sakes. Master Bomber Popseidon could possibly still be done. You have to really be careful with the zebra layers. Like, they're immune to the explosive. Yeah, they're immune to the flash bombs, but not the sticky. I don't know now. I'm so exhausted with the conversation of trying to get through this particular scenario while keeping my sanity intact, while this thing is literally dog water. Necromancer Popseidon, and then obviously from there, Prince of Darkness Popseidon. I believe that could still be done, honestly. You just have to ensure that the undead can pop all of the zebra balloons. Overclock Popseidon. You have to really rely on either the pierce of the nail gun with the bottom crosspath, or just spamming a lot of sentry guns out with the top crosspath. Popseidon Apache Dart Ship, round 98, big issue because they go down to zebra balloons from their ceramic property. I don't know. Apache Prime, I can still definitely see this as being a possibility. And speaking of the Apache, we've now got the Apache Dart Ship. By the way, this is going to be the only video, or if not one of the last videos, which I'm going to do, just going over the Popseidon's damage type changes, which is not cool whatsoever. Popseidon Balloon Incineration used to be a possibility. Now round 61 is a kick in the teeth if you know that round. A bunch of regrow zebra balloons. Not cool. You have to keep this thing at a tier 3 or below in order to actually get through round 61, and even by then, you'll not have enough peers with this tower in order to get through that round. I don't think so. Believe it or not, Popseidon and Bomber Race was done. Popseidon Brickle was done. Popseidon Carpet of Spikes was done. What about Popseidon Churchill? Zebra balloons could still be a problem if you don't have the machine gun properly operating, all that jazz. Popseidon Comanche Commander and Comanche Defense. Popseidon Elite Sniper, for goodness sakes. Giant Condor with Popseidon. Popseidon with Glue Storm, that's very interesting. Popseidon Ground Zero, and obviously Tsar Bomber as well. Popseidon Juggernaut, and obviously Ultra Juggernaut. Popseidon Obin has been done, and I believe that was done when the ability of this was still the shatter damage type. rather than the plasma damage type, because you need another source of being able to pop purple balloons outside of Obens's brambles. For goodness sakes, Popseidon with Operation Darkstorm. Some maniac moves right there. Popseidon with Permaspike. Popseidon and Pop and Ore. I can understand that one. But again, nowadays it's like a camo situation. Again, that was done before the damage type change to the ability went from Shattered to Plasma. Popseidon Razor Rotors, for some odd reason, has been done. Popseidon Shattering Shells, goodness sakes. Popseidon Sky Shredder, that's understandable, honestly, because of the amount that each Sky Shredder can fire out. Popseidon Spectra, I wonder if that one's still possible. Maybe I'll look into that one at some point in the future, because but darts can obviously deal with a lot of the annoying work there. Popseidon Spike Storm for some odd reason. Popseidon Spiked Mines. Popseidon Super Brittle. Again, Popseidon Super Brittle. Before getting Super Brittle, you're still very susceptible to white balloons. Popseidon Supply Drop. Like a lot of these really weak towers you can pair with Popseidon, because the logs on logs enables the ability to bounce back from the logs back to the bad, so you can hit the same target twice. And I think that's it, really. Oh, Quincy Popseidon was done. Spill for Forest Popseidon, that's also understandable. Superstorm, oh my god, Superstorm Popseidon. Yeah, I don't think that one is again possible, just because again of like the rounds in which are heavily dominated by white balloons. So I'm thinking round 61. And that comes off with, so that is ending off the list of 2-tower chimps in which Popseidon has done. And to be honest, I think hardly any of those can be replicated. There's me rambling for about 10 minutes or so listing off the different towers in which the Popseidon can do a 2-tower chimps with back in the day. I still think the best in which this tower was at was in update 44.0 when the Mermonkey was initially released. Because when the tower was initially released, it was such a good tower because it didn't have an inherent weakness, because the ability was able to pop purple balloons. But nowadays, it can't do anything. Again, it's hyperbolical, but it just feels like nowadays, if you go past a certain point with a ceramic, it just can't deal with the rest of it. It's honestly such a weak tower. And again, a 56k upgrade that can't even pop white balloons. But then you could say a 54k upgrade with the Wizard Lord Phoenix can't pop purple balloons. It's just the sheer quantity of purple balloons is far less than the quantity of white balloons. It's just honestly the truth. Round 75, done and dusted. Round 76, guess what? Your projectiles are blocked by white balloons. We're going to get Popseidon first before we get the Apache Prime, because I want to showcase how bad round 98 is if we don't get Apache Prime for that round, just because the amount of damage in which this thing does just dramatically increases when you go from Dark Ship to Prime. Pop Prime, my favorite Transformer. Wonder what the Decepticon opposite is. It's probably the tier 5 Shark Megalodon. 79. I don't think we can afford to be Popseidon on this round, but we are dealing with all these regrow balloons quite easily here. We have enough attack rates and enough damage per attack to be able to get through all of this sort of stuff. Now, what's really interesting about the top path Heli is that it has 4 different attacks, and when you go to Prime, it actually has 4 different damage types. It's got the energy, which comes out from the sides, which you can see, which would replace the darts firing from the sides of Heli. It's got the explosives, in which it fires out for its missiles. The front gun changes from sharp to plasma, and then the rotors are normal damage type. So in theory, when it comes to the Apache Dart Ship, by default, the only way in which it can damage DDTs is with its rotors. Okay, round 80. This, by the way, is a really poor map for Popseidon because it has really hasn't got anything for its ice balls to bounce off, aside from these umbrellas, which are incredibly specific spots when it fires out. and also this tree down here. Not what you call the best spots in order for its ice balls to fire off of or bounce off of. When I say ice balls, I mean magical ice balls. Because it can pop purples despite being of the cold environment. Alright, let's just fire this off just to make this round end a bit quicker. Also, November the 2nd, watch out for a very, very special video on that day. It could be a successful attempt, or it may not be a successful attempt. But we're going to give it our damnedest to ensure that we can get through that particular scenario. And it's going to be our 10K special, baby. It's going to be our attempt of getting a 2 million pops with a 220 mortar, which by the community has agreed is a base tower, tier 2 or below. And I think it's defined as base rather than thinking base as like an unupgraded tower, because you haven't dedicated yourself to a specific path. So with this case, we dedicated our Heli to the top path. We dedicated our Mermonkey to the middle path, where if you buy like tier 2 upgrades of 2 paths, yes, you have locked yourself out of one particular path, but you haven't dedicated yourself to a particular path. And I think that's where the differences lie. It's your dedication to a specific path. Let's say, for example, with your wizard, do you want it to be a master of all kinds of wizardry with the top path? Do you want to summon a phoenix with a middle path? Or do you want to be a necromancer with a bottom cross path? And in certain cases, you could hover around. You could only really hover around the fire aspect without the phoenix aspect being employed. But you can still summon fire with. I think there's somebody in the community that is really dedicated to the base wizard and be able to do 2 mega pots with that. And that's really like with only the 120 wizard, because you can change where the wall of fire is placed down, which is really cool. Okay, I'm gonna have you on. Possibly have you on follow mouse spinning away, and it's definitely spinning in this scenario. It's just trying to get all of the ceramics, and we're spawn through this area. Look at them spinning away. By the way, there's a quote from the floating disc unit from Red Alert 2 U's Revenge. I'm trying to get every single one of my towers to have a name based off a quote from that game. I guess I should stop, honestly, and just have them as my nickname and not actually shout that name in pretty much every video I do from now on, because I just love that game. It's part of my childhood. We can now afford the Apache Prime, and I definitely forgot about trying to test around 98 with just the dart shift, but you know what, that's absolutely fine. Let's put you at the start of the map so that we don't have to encounter our purple issues. We're still spinning away with our helicopter. It's kind of hilarious. Let's keep you over here and we can destroy all of this. Keep on strong so that you're always damaging DDTs. And our beloved Prime here can focus on the rest. Round 96 was a breeze. Again, I think it's just best to keep your heli over here just so that it's able to deal with the be able to clean up what the Popseidon cannot pop. Talking like white balloons, for example. It can't clear up those, for goodness sakes, anymore. But if you were to go, I think honestly Lord of the Abyss is the best tower for a 2-tower CHIMPS scenario, even though it's not very good against like ZOMGs and the bad and can't damage DTs. But it's a very good cleanup tower, and it's incredibly good for your other tower to be able to you know, thrive off of because of the pierce increase and all that jazz. Okay, round 99 going very well here. Dealt with the fortified DTs on the round, which leaves just round 100. Let's just keep you over that so that your razor rotors are always damaging it at any given point in time. And honestly should just leave the ability until it goes down from that, just so that we can instantly kill the DTs that spawn out of it. Okay, we should be very close now. Very close? You are at that stage where you are very close, I feel like. Come on, descale it. Perhaps we should just fire off the ability just to get that rolling. There we go, we got it rolling. And I think there's the occasional bounce from the tree down there, but just don't rely on it. And there we go. That is probably one of the few 2TCs that the Popseidon can still do. Thank you all so much for watching. Apologies for the prolonging rant about the Popseidon change in update 45 or version 45 or however you want to call it. it's just an incredibly hindering change, going from a purple weakness to a white and purple weakness. It's really cool that Ninja Kiwi are trying to change around certain things within the game and implement new damage types within the game, which were not already within the game itself. But it's just such a hindrance to what was honestly a really powerful tower. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Let me know what you thought of the video down in the comments sections below. And whenever the boss event appears on this week, actually, beginning of November, that's actually going to be changed to the Sunday video rather than the Saturday video, because I'm going to need all of the time in the world to get that 2 megapots with the Balloon Buster Rapid Reload Mortar Monkey. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Please be sure to use my creator support code. And also, as what is exciting is that Balloons Card Storm has been released to the public as of really recently, as of the 29th of October. Maybe it was actually this exact date in which it was released. I just saw an announcement in one of the Balloons Discords. So yeah, if you want me to play that game, then please let me know. But 2 cards CHIMPS 2cc is an achievement in Balloons Card Storm. I don't think that's really a thing. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and take care of yourselves.